Joyce to Montague for the dunk. Thought Amon could have taken it in himself.
No, we said that Montague had to get going. He has. Now somebody else has to come along for the ride.
Adelphi answers with Oswald Parker's three.
7th made triple of the first half, and they just continue to shoot it well. And again, guys at this level are going to make shots if you leave them open, and that's what Southern Hampshire's done.
Joyce again looking for Montague. Gets it in the corner, and Russo has a three. Charlie makes it 49-35.
Needed that. Now you got to get a stop or two.
Timeout for Coach Duke. Is use it or lose it. 30 with 1:15 to go in the half, and Adelphi with 49 points on the board.
Yeah, that's way too high. I mean, it's an Adelphi team coming in at averaging better than 80 points per, so they can put points on the board, but you don't want to allow half a century and a half, and that's probably what's going to be afforded the Panthers as you see Russo's triple in the corner.
Montague with a nice finish.
Well, his head is at the rim, man. I mean,
Penmen 7-3 here in the field house this year. 4-2 in conference play. Again, Adelphi's been one of the hottest teams in the league.
Oh yeah, they've been really good, and they're going to be really sad to see January come to an end.
Only loss in January was at home to Merrimack. Lacey got a piece of that, and it still almost went in.
Laffey's high-arcing jumpers. Well contested. Southern Hampshire's credit, they've done a good job against Laffey.
Andrews for Montague. That'll be a Adelphi ball.
Another missed point-blank opportunity. You know, there was a lot of arms swarming around the rim there, but I think Montague will be the first to tell you he's got to find a way to get that to go. But again, good action. You just got to finish the product.
45 seconds left in the first half. McGinnis into the lane. They're going to call a travel on Beach.
I don't think he ever had the ball.
No, I don't think he did either.
That's a break for the Penmen. See if they can capitalize.
Got a 9-second differential, shot clock and game clock. Day likes to do this. Just let the ball roll and picks it up. And then he accelerates, try to get you napping. Lacey inside. Couldn't finish it, and Austin Beach has the rebound, and Adelphi can hold for the last shot.
Basically, there's about a half-second difference, but yeah, I think this is the right thing. Unless a good opportunity presents itself, though Adelphi seems pretty content to dribble around midcourt and let about 10 seconds or so roll off here.
49-35 for the visitors as Ronnie Silva now will advance down to 5. Step back, three-pointer, no. Lacey won't have time to do anything with it. And the Panthers will go to the locker room with a 49-35 lead.
Very good half of basketball for Adelphi. Again, I thought Southern Hampshire was disengaged defensively. Big challenges on Jack Perry and his bunch. Say, listen, guys, you don't defend, you're not going to win this conference. Adelphi was better in the first 20. We got another 20 left to be played, so the Penmen can come back and find their way back.
Thanks for joining us tonight from the Field House at Southern New Hampshire University. This is Penmen basketball on Fox College Sports. Jack Perry is in the midst of his first season at the helm of the Southern New Hampshire men's basketball program. Perry began his coaching career at Northeast 10 rival Bentley University to spend nearly 2 decades in the profession. We sat down with Perry to discuss his career path and how he became the head man at SNHU.
Can't rattle it home, and that's your ball game. 83-65. Adam, any final thoughts here?
The first victory for Coach Perry. Give him a pat on the back.
Jack Perry was named the 6th head men's basketball coach in the history of Southern New Hampshire University in June of 2018. A former Northeast 10 Conference men's basketball player at Bentley University, Perry knew he wanted to become a coach after serving as a 2-year captain for the Falcons.
I go to Bentley and had a great career and a great mentor in Jay Lawson. Played for him for 5 years because I had torn my ACL. Got an extra year, was a 2-year captain there, and pretty much knew that I wanted to get into coaching. I was really, really fortunate. Jim Ferry, who was the previous full-time assistant, left the year that I graduated, and Jay immediately put me in a full-time position as an assistant, and I got to really learn firsthand what it took to be an assistant coach and how to run a program.
Perry has an extensive resume at the collegiate level that spans all 3 NCAA divisions. In his nearly 20 years on the bench, Perry has spent time as a Division III and Division I head coach, as well as an assistant at both Divisions I and II.
I have had the full gamut of opportunity. So after I was with Jay for 6 years, I got a chance to lead my own program at Rhode Island College for a year. So I was a Division III head coach where there was no scholarships involved, and so I did that for a year and then had an opportunity to go with Jim Ferry, who was the guy that recruited me to Bentley, to LIU. I didn't think I'd be there for 12 years, but I was there that long. We had a nice run where we went to 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments and really enjoyed my time at the Division I level. When things didn't work out there, I had a good friend in Joe Jones who gave me an opportunity at BU to come back up to Boston. That was great too, just again to go back to being an assistant coach. Where okay, now I'm trying to get back into the recruiting thing and all that entails, and it was a great experience.
The different stops for Perry ultimately led him to Southern New Hampshire University in a position he says is his dream job.
When I got into the profession, I really wanted to be a Division II head coach in the Northeast 10 Conference. You might laugh at that, but it wasn't to try and be the head coach at Duke or Syracuse or something like that. It was to get to this level, where scholarship level, where there was true student athletes that cared about their academics and knew that they weren't necessarily going to be NBA players. So I loved the league at first, and this job to me was a home run. For one, the resources that they have, the administration, how much they care, obviously the reputation. Stan Spirou did such a wonderful job here and created a legacy for himself in the school. I just wanted to build upon that.
Perry was named the head men's basketball coach in June, which meant he was unable to meet his full team until September. Perry believes the team's willingness to adapt to his coaching style has made the first half of his inaugural season much easier.
I really didn't get to know these guys till September. I get the job late June, so all the guys were gone for summer. Then I get back in September and we go through a little bit of a preseason and started to get a feel a little bit more for what the roster looked like. The guys have really embraced me trying to do some different things. They've worked very, very hard in practice. Each game they've prepared very well for each opponent that we've had. And I think the outcomes have been pretty good. I think our guys have done a solid job.
Expectations are always high for the men's basketball team at Southern New Hampshire. Perry wants the team to focus on having a special season and not pressure themselves with win totals and additional accolades.
For our guys, and you want them to have a special season, whatever that special season for that group is. And that's kind of what I've told these guys from day one. Don't put pressure on yourself to have a certain amount of wins and to do something specific in mind. I wanted these guys to just continue to get better each and every day and really embrace that mindset. And they really have done a good job with that, not really looking ahead and looking at their opponents. Okay, hey, let's focus on ourselves. Let's try and get as good as we can possibly get as a team. I think up until this point, we've continued to progress that way and we've gotten better and better. But I think we are right there with the rest of the league after seeing pretty much everybody at this point. And obviously, if our guys continue to prepare the right way, continue to embrace the challenge of every single day, competing at a high level, that will give ourselves a chance to win each and every game.
As Perry looks towards the future of his program, he believes his teams will be defined by their character and talent both on and off the court.
Hopefully what you'll see is, hey, they're great kids. They're great kids in the community. They're great kids on campus. They're obviously good basketball players that hold themselves accountable both on the court and off the court. They're going to have good attitudes. The talent level hopefully will continue to get talented guys that are going to embrace our culture, and toughness and discipline are going to be two things that I'm always looking for when I'm recruiting kids, guys that want to be here and want to be as good as they can possibly be. Hopefully we can play a fast-paced style if we get into our philosophy that way, where we're playing up and down and we're playing aggressive offense and certainly solid and disciplined, limited mistakes defense.
Challenge for Coach Perry here at the halftime. See if his club can rally back against Adelphi. 49-35, Panthers leading at halftime. And this is SNHU basketball on Fox College Sports. NE10 basketball tonight in Manchester, New Hampshire. Adelphi off to the nice start tonight, and it was a New Hampshire guy for Adelphi who got them going early today. The freshman Ronnie Silva from Nashua, New Hampshire.
He was very impressive during the first half. Wasn't he 13 points, 3 threes, but his ability to use the dribble is really what set up those long-range opportunities. You see his bounce and the way he used his body and really controlled himself, and then that stretched the defense. And unfortunately, for Southern New Hampshire, Silva really got Adelphi rolling here on the road. And then on the other side, Sean Montague finally made his presence felt as that half wore on. He finished the half Pop with 8 points and 3 rebounds. We talked about midway point, he hadn't scored. So maybe that'll bode well for this group going forward. They're going to need a lot more of number 10 in the second half if they are to erase this 14-point deficit, which is staring them pretty slowly right in the face right now at the half.
Adelphi has led every step of the way. They lead 49-35 over Southern New Hampshire. Here are the shooting percentages. Your opponent shoots 62.5%. You're not going to be able to win many games.
No, and the thing that jumps out at me, not only that, but they were 13 for 16 from inside the arc. I mean, that is astronomical. 26 points in the paint. We're going to talk to Jack Perry about that momentarily, but man, Southern New Hampshire's got to do a better job defensively. We can't allow 49 points and a half and expect to win on a consistent basis.
All right, we'll be back with Coach Perry right after this. This is Fox College Sports.
dramatically over the years, but one thing is not, and that is our commitment to you and your family. We're a company made up of your friends and neighbors. We work each day to continue our tradition of providing health care to the 300,000 members we serve. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield focuses on wellness and healthy living. We work with and support numerous organizations in New Hampshire to build healthy communities. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, creating a healthier future for New Hampshire.
All right, welcome back. Coach down by 14 at the break. What's the message during the intermission there to your group?
God. Well, we got to keep our poise. I thought offensively we lost our poise a little bit. They're playing us a little bit differently. They're going way underneath ball screens, and they're really keeping away paint touches for Day-Day, and some guys are going to end up having to knock down some shots to open up the floor again. But we did a poor job. I think some guys that don't normally take jump shots took some shots that they probably shouldn't have taken.
Defensively, you allowed 49. For whatever reason, they're just hitting on all cylinders inside the paint. What do you do to combat that?
No, listen. Our guys have to be more disciplined. They got to be solid defensively. We talk about limiting our mistakes, pressuring the ball, take away the threes, but then don't get beat on back cuts, and they got to contain the ball. This is a really, really talented team that we're playing here. They average plus 80 points a game. I told our guys before the game they're trying to go for 100. They're on their way.
50's too much. We'll see you in the second half, Coach.
Right,
Good to see you. Good to see Jack Perry over here and still finding a way to smile, which I admire. Not easy when you allow 49, as he mentioned. Bob, we'll send it back to you and get started the second half here.
49-35 for Southern New Hampshire. Eamon Joyce with 8, Sean Montague with 8 to lead the Penmen, and for the Panthers on the other side, 13 for Ronnie Silva, 12 for Oswald Parker the third. They're likely both in the starting lineup as we get going here for the second half. Southern New Hampshire will be back in action on Saturday, NE10 play at New Haven. Women and men, the typical 1:30, 3:30 doubleheader. And Adelphi will be at Stonehill on Saturday, and then finally Adelphi will get a home game again on February 6th when they play Lemoyne. So work for the Penmen to do. They've never led in this game. Rebounds 16-15 in favor of Southern New Hampshire in the first half. Turnovers 7 on the Penmen, 4 on the Panthers. And it's 49-35. It'll be Adelphi ball first. Bob Lippman and Jacob Van Ryn, and we thank you for joining us. Jared Fieldson and his entire crew with the PAC Network helping to produce tonight's game.
Worst sideline reporter in America. Other than that, everything else is going very well.
You did a terrific job. Off the window.
I mean, more dead-on bank shots tonight from the Panthers. That's their third make from straight on using glass that they did not mean to. I would be willing to wager a fair amount of money.
Penmen down 16 again. As Justin Lacey makes the start here in the second half, carries the ball in the hip into the lane. A miss, but Montague with a rebound shot.
And again, Montague, we talked about it getting going later in the half, so they're going to need more of that, and a good start for him to start this second.
Foul on Charlie Russo on Connor McGinnis's drive to the hoop. McGinnis, a 5'9" senior from New City, New York.
You see Lacey's, you talked about getting the start. Montague, as he does so well, just running to the front of the rim. Good things happen when you hustle on the offensive glass, and there to clean up for it easy too. And interesting, you talked about Lacey getting the start in place of John Martin in the second half. I think it's pretty well known. You follow this Southern Hampshire program close enough, you know that they've been looking for a consistent fifth starter. We've seen Rio Semino at times. We've seen John Martin at times. Well, Justin Lacey getting his chance to start the second half. We'll see if he can take advantage.
Free throws have not been much of a factor at all in this game. McGinnis makes both. Adelphi is 4 for 4 from the line. The Penmen are just 1 for 2.
This has been a really cleanly played game. Nobody in any sort of foul difficulty whatsoever to speak of. That's a very poor pass there as Andrews trying to find Lacey. Those two just not on the same page. But officials let them play, and at the same time there wasn't a lot of contact. I think if you're Southern Hampshire, you got to make Adelphi more uncomfortable. Maybe need some more contact.
There have been only 7 fouls in the game.
Yeah.
Not like that in the men's game. Joyce with a steal, and now he'll come in. Joyce with a right hand for 2. Maybe that's the spark the Penmen need, as both Montague and Joyce get to double figures here early in the second half, and it's 53-37.
Again, it's incumbent upon the defense to get stops, though. As we talked about earlier, Adelphi content to trade baskets.
No good on the shot there for Parker. Andrews has Lacey right, Russo left. He gives it instead to the trailer, and Joyce will go in It'll count and a foul.
That's a really good decision by Joyce, and that shows his maturity and his growth during his junior campaign. I think earlier in his career, that little shovel pass from Day-Day, he might have just teed up a contested three. Instead, he recognized that. Here you're going to see Day-Day, a little crossover, a little shovel. In years past, I think Joyce would have teed that up and tried to heat check. Instead, uses the dribble, absorbs the contact, and finishes. I thought a good block call and a chance for three to make this an 11-point game.
Jack Laffey with his second foul. And Joyce has 13 with a make free throw. It's 53-38, 15-point game. 53-42, 11-point game.
That's a steal.
There.
It's a chance now to cut it to single digits.
Andrews, 53-44.
And now here come the Penmen. The run was 14 at the break. Now they've cut it to 9. This is exactly what they needed out of the locker room.
Other way, inside, it fell off. Penmen with a rebound.
A lot of contact there.
And David Duke looking for a foul.
Yeah, looked like there was some contact.
Joyce.
That's a charge. Yeah, good call.
His second.
Unless it's in the restricted arc, that's got to be a player control foul, and that's one where Joyce has got to jump stop and kick. He's got Russo open in the short corner there, just kick it to a three-point shooter. Here you see the help coming. Look at Russo there in the corner. That's a jump stop. McGinnis has his head turned. That's an easy three and a great look for Russo. Instead, player control foul going the other way. Too bad.
McGinnis leads the Panthers into the front court, working against Russo. Comes into the lane. Adelphi loves to go inside and then come right back out, and that one spins out. Tough break, and here's Andrews.
These shots that were makes in the first half, all of a sudden they're now misses. And this bodes very well for the Penmen. I like the energy from Southern New Hampshire out of the break here.
Ronnie Silva with his first foul will put Day-Day Andrews at the free throw line for the Penmen. Day-Day tonight 3 of 5, shooting 7 points.
I was somewhat impressed and quite frankly a little bit surprised by the upbeat nature with which Jack Perry and his group came out of the locker room. I think he recognized that Adelphi played very well, probably weren't going to play better than they did in the first half, and his group hadn't played well, and 14 was a margin you could overcome. Now obviously a big challenge, but
All right, back here in Manchester, and Jacob, how has Southern New Hampshire gotten back into this game?
Well, a big part of it's been that man right there, Day-Day Andrews, put pressure on the defense. Even when he hasn't been scoring, he's been doing very good things for his teammates. Here you see floating and getting to the rim. You saw him lose the ball there momentarily, but other than that, good bounce pass ahead to Montague. And Southern New Hampshire, when they can get out and go and running and being comfortable in transition, very good. And that guy right there with his hands on it, he got his good things happen for your team, and this is all of a sudden a 2-score game.
Penmen 5 out of 6 in the second half, and Adelphi 1 for 4. SNHU within 5, 53-48 after trailing by as many as 17 late in the first half.
It's a good show there defensively by Joyce.
Catch inside and an easy hoop there for Cambio. He's in double figures.
He's played well, limited minutes as he's adjusting to his new role coming off of David Duke's bench now. That's the situation where Montague's got to rotate over sooner.
55-48, it'll be an Adelphi rebound on an empty trip for SNHU. Parker comes back out to Cambio and around it goes. Silva distributes left side for Laffey, and it drained it. That's that high arcing shot you talked about.
Wow. I mean, that was well defended. You can't defend it any better without fouling a shooter, quite frankly. Laffey still made that shot.
Andrews looking for an answer into the corner for Russo for 3.
It's a good job by Day-Day. Good things happen when he gets the ball into the teeth of the defense, and that was a triple for Charlie.
He has 8, 58-51. No good. Adelphi. Andrews will wait for his team to set. Nope, going all the way in with it. Good for 2.
How good is that? That is elite stuff by Day-Day. Crossover downhill, and when he's rolling, he is devastating offensively.
Yep, 5 right back for the Penmen, 58-53.
Good buzz in the gym too, partner.
Silva answers for 3.
Wow. This is like heavyweight punch v punch right now. Two prize fighters going at one another and making big plays both ways early in the second half.
Andrews right over in front of his own bench, catches a little bit of a breather there with a dribble. Left open, why not take it? They caught the back iron. Adelphi with a rebound. Come back to Silva. Goes by Montague and all the way in for 2.
He's really skilled offensively. He's going to score a lot of points this conference.
Andrews.
He is really a problem defense to defend is Silva.
Should get us to the media timeout on a foul by Adelphi. Penmen within 10. This is Southern New Hampshire basketball. Welcome back to the SNHU Field House. 63-53 Adelphi.
We've talked about this being a sort of a heavyweight fight early in the second half. That's a really tough shot there by Adelphi. This has been sort of anything you can do, I can do better type situation. And at the other end, Russo answers with his second made 3 of the game. And this is Day-Day, that little hesitation, just crossover, split the defenders, and slide to the basket for 2. And lead is 10 right now. And fortunately, Ronnie Silva and this Adelphi offense, they continue to fire on all cylinders.
The teams combined for 160 points per game, so you figure a game very likely could get into the 80s.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many, you may need 90 to win tonight.
Yeah, I think 90 is the number.
This time that Montague was going for the dunk on the inbounds pass, and it's going to be and 1 the other way for Oswald Parker III.
And you can put a star next to that sequence right there, because instead of a dunk or an easy layup opportunity, you get a run out and a potential and 1 situation because Southern Hampshire didn't sprint back down the floor. I mean, that's a poor recognition, letting an offensive player get behind the last man on defense. And again, those defensive woes we saw in the first half, they rear their ugly head again here in the second half.
Russo's 3rd foul. Parker has 15 with a make free throw. And it is now an 8-0 run for Adelphi at a 13-point lead. Joyce comes back over to Russo on the right side. Will be picked up by Ronnie Silva. Justin Lacey for the Penmen into the lane, and a finish for Sean Montague.
Again, when they can get the ball in the paint against Adelphi, good things are happening. You can't settle for possessions around the perimeter.
On the way for 3.
Wow. I mean, Laffey is just one of those guys that whenever he tees it up, you feel like it's going in.
He has 10 already, 4 in double figures for the Panthers. Corner Montague wants 3. Not his shot.
Not really his game at this juncture of his career right now. He was wide open. You sort of have to take it, but not really his shot.
He's made 6 this year. 13:38 to go second half. SNHU trailing 14 at home. They were just within 5.
Yeah.
Adelphi blew it right back out again. Parker comes to McGinnis.
11-2 stretch currently being authored by the visiting Panthers right now.
Under 10 on the clock. Silva against Day. No good. Winds up on the ground. The Penmen have numbers if they push it. Andrews all the way in. It blocked inside. And Cambio got over to block the shot. Penmen ball, 24 on the clock. Rio Semino will replace Justin Lacey for the Penmen. And for Adelphi, back into the game, Dwayne Williams. Give Jack Laffey a breather. 69-55 Adelphi. Russo for Semino. Montague for Andrews. Back to Rio. 10 on the clock. Joyce down low, and Montague will get to the line.
Again, if you can get the ball into the paint, good things are happening. That's got to be the focal point the rest of the way, I think, for Southern New Hampshire on offense.
The Cambio for his second foul for Adelphi. They were 11-18 last year, made it to the NE10 tournament.
Southwest side is murky in terms of the standings wise. After New Haven 8-4, I'm not saying murky in terms of the level of play. I think it's very good this year, quite frankly. Then you got Southern Connecticut, Adelphi, and Lemoyne all in the mix at 7-5, Pace 6-6, AIC, St. Rose 5-5. So all those schools on that side separated by just 2.5 games right now.
Free throw shooting has been an issue all year for Montague, who misses both. Adelphi threw it away.
Thanks.
So you're looking at Ronnie Silva. Little mistake there. Well, we'll go back over to Southern New Hampshire with 12:49 to go.
And it's sort of now or never time. I hate to say it for Southern New Hampshire.
I agree.
I think the next 2 or 3 minutes, cut this lead down to single digits if they have a chance.
Mercedo is trying to get a pass over on the right side for Day. Lost it off his leg.
And again, if it's not there, don't force it. I know that's the set, but you're like 2 or 3 seconds into the possession. You don't have to do that type of thing.
Silva brings it across. Comes back over to McGinnis. On the right side, back out. Williams, Montague with a steal. Coming with Day, and he got fouled on the entry in by Ronnie Silva. It'll be his second. Too bad we only get to see Silva really maybe one more time in this gym in his career. 2 years from now, right?
Yeah, I mean, depending upon postseason action, assuming the alignment stays the same. And yeah, it is unfortunate. But to his credit, we talked about it sort of in passing, but to his credit, when guys return home, especially young players, you know he's feeling a little bit of added pressure. All these people in Adelphi jerseys coming to see him. He has been outstanding.
A tough no finish there for Montague off a good pass from Day.
A good defensive play there by Laffey, taking away that second chance opportunity for Joyce.
12 to go. And Southern New Hampshire down by 14 at home. Good start to the second half. It's kind of fizzled away here with shots not going in again. It's travel.
Late whistle, but the right call.
Bring us to the break. See if Southern New Hampshire has a big rally in them tonight. They're going to need an 11:50 to go down double digits at home to Adelphi on Fox College Sports. And welcome back to the Field House. SNHU's annual Pink Day will take place on Saturday, February 9th here at the Stan Spirou Field House with a doubleheader against Stonehill College. They will include raffles, t-shirt sales, performances by the cheerleading squad, as well as 2 $10,000 progressive shot contests. Donations will be accepted for CMC's Breast Care Center that day. 11:50 to go here. Second half, Adelphi 69, Southern New Hampshire 55.
We talked about it going to the break. Now or never time for the Penmen. They got to make it a stretch. We can talk about this game when we go to the under 8-minute timeout, Bob. I think it's got to be 7 or 8, the margin facing the Penmen. They punched really good coming out of the break. They started the second half on a 13-4 run. They got this down to 5. Adelphi answered with a nice run of their own to extend the lead back to double figures. And right now, it's the Panthers that are in control.
Sean Montague leading the Penmen with 14 points on 7 of 13 shooting. It's out here on the floor with Mikey Bucetto, Day-Day Andrews, Heyman Joyce, Rio Semino. Day-Day will take it, 11:43 to go. Quiet night so far for Day-Day, 11. 6 of the points here in the second half, and a give and go for Montague. He thought about a dunk, but instead just flipped it in.
Nice left-handed bounce pass there by Day-Day. That's really tough to defend.
And the Penmen need to hit on almost all of these possessions now. Come up with some stops. Down 12. 11 minutes to go. That'll be on Bucetto, his first.
They run a lot of stuff, speaking of Adelphi, that if you don't communicate through, it's really tough to defend. They run a lot of off-ball screens. They run a lot of stuff that are sort of quick hitter type action. And in Southern Hampshire, they're seemingly a step slow. I think that's part of it's because of the defensive communication or lack thereof.
Out of the corner, Silva for 3.
This kid's special. Really, really special.
He has 21, and it's 72-57 in SNHU. Now the 15-point deficit to erase again. Semino answers.
Big shot by Rio. They need a lot more of that going forward. And more importantly, Bob, they got to find a way to get defensive stops.
Loose ball. Possession arrow is Southern New Hampshire's. I guess Adelphi probably could have used a timeout there, but they didn't. So the ball will go to the Penmen, right?
It's a quick trigger. I mean, look at that shot by Silva. There's not much airspace there at all. And then at the other side, Semino answers on a pretty simple off-ball screen there. McGinnis just not really fighting hard over the top. Now a chance again for Southern Hampshire. A made 3 makes this a 9-point game.
And Penmen, Semino comes back over here for Day-Day. 3-pointer, no good. Back iron, rebound. Laffey for the Panthers.
Didn't love the shot there by Day-Day. I know what he's trying to do in that set of circumstances, but again, early in the possession, well contested defensively. It's a shot you can get at any time.
Shout out, by the way, Ronnie Silva's got a career-high 21 tonight.
What a time to do it, huh?
Yeah. End line. Again, stepped on the end line. Ball will go back over.
Good defensive pressure there by Bucetto. Playing hard on the defensive side, and that has not been a theme tonight for the Penmen. He's locked in defensively. I think that's why Mikey's on the floor.
72-60. Bucetto back for Joyce. And a whistle, and this one's underneath. I was looking back out at the shooter.
I think they're going to get McGinnis for a bump on Rio as he cut across the lane.
It's first team 6, so the Penmen will go to the line the rest of the game. Haven't spent much time in the line tonight.
That bodes well for a team trying to erase a double-digit deficit, obviously. This is where they ran that lob set earlier.
Russo catches, knocked out of his hands. And this could be a fast break bucket, but Russo came back and prevented the shot from Oswald Parker, the third. Defensive both ways, both guys with great plays.
Yeah, good both ways. Parker trying to line up a dunk, I think, and a great look there by our crew. That's a clean strip, unfortunately for Charlie. Just couldn't quite establish himself to potentially come away with a loose ball.
Montague went the steal, went for the steal, didn't get it. Parker takes the inbound and out near midcourt. Now here comes Silva working against Russo. 9:50 to play. 12-point deficit for the Penmen. Silva, again, Russo got a hand in there, knocked it out of bounds. Stays, though, with the Panthers. Ronnie Silva out of Nashua, New Hampshire, 5'9" freshman, multiple Rookie of the Week award winner in the NE10, has 21, a career high here in this gym tonight. Comes around the left side. Back over for McGinnis, and that's no good. Rebound, Adelphi, and it'll fall for Parker.
Wow. I mean, that's a killer. You defend really well for 30-plus seconds and ends up with an easy 2 on the second chance.
2 for Adelphi makes it 74-60. Joyce, the other way, gets 2 right back.
Eamon's played well tonight. He really continues to grow on the offensive side.
74-62. Laffey did not take the 3, instead back around. Now this is a 3, and that's no good. And that's going to be on Adelphi, on Parker.
Montague went down very hard and is in some degree of pain here underneath the Adelphi basket. This is cause for concern right now for the Penmen.
He's trying to push himself up as the athletic training staff arrives on the scene. 9:01 to play.
This is not a good sign at all for the Penmen.
Yeah, he got up. But it's a little gimpy.
Let's see what happened there.
Yeah, and he looked like he was reaching for his left calf there as he walked back over to the Penmen bench. Our score is 74-62 Adelphi with 9:01 to play here in the second half. Hey, let's just hope it's just a cramp. He just cramped up.
Yeah, he walked like he had a cramp, interestingly enough. Huh. Well, obviously, Southern Hampshire's going to
This is a shooter situation because it was the 7th foul on Adelphi, so they were looking over to determine who they wanted to shoot the free throws on the Penman side. The interesting basketball rule there.
I actually think this rule needs to be changed
Yeah,
at
I think
some
so
point.
too.
I mean, it's obviously well, it might have been, they might have ruled that Joyce was the guy that was fouled originally, quite frankly. He was involved in that action, not Montague. Montague, obviously not a good free throw shooter. And David Duke getting an explanation. He's saying that's not the guy that was fouled. And he might have a point here. The issue is, if it's not Joyce, then Southern Hampshire could choose anyone with the injury to Montague.
Well, why are they giving Adelphi the opportunity to pick who's shooting?
They don't. They don't. David Duke's just getting an explanation.
Okay.
Yeah, Southern Hampshire could choose the shooter here for whoever checked in for Montague.
Saw the assistant coach there going to what looked like a roster page. Maybe he was just... It's interesting. Russo on the air, 72% free throw shooter. His first trip to the line tonight. They didn't get it, but Eamon Joyce put it back in anyway. He has 17.
Really lazy effort there by Parker on the defensive glass.
10-point game. Reverse layup doesn't go by Parker. Day leads the Penmen up. A lot of time left.
This is the trip of the game. Yeah, for a travel. Yeah.
Referee Brian Dumont quickly got into the travel call. 8:42 left.
It was the right call, too. That's a killer because you got a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and just watching Montague over in the corner, they're trying to press his foot against the wall. I know that cramp because it's happened to me in the middle of the night a lot, not while I'm playing basketball.
No pickup games in the Lippman Estate during the middle of the night, no?
74-64. Come back the other way. Kick through for Laffey. McGinnis stops, pops, no good. Rebound Joyce.
And again, Mikey Musso has done a very good job defensively on Connor McGinnis.
74-64. Day for Mikey Busetto. Yes, that's good. His first field goal.
That was justified. His intensity, his effort on the defensive side should be rewarded by a made 3, and that's what happened. Now, 7-point game, Bob. We talked about this. Under 12, it was a lot. Now it's down to 7.
So there the answer.
How good has he been? This is a really impressive performance by a freshman here in front of safely probably about 50 fans.
Busetto once more.
See him pull the string a little bit there. Didn't stay with his follow through.
Cambio with a rebound for Adelphi. Panthers with a 10-point lead. Parker into the lane, slams it home.
You get the feeling like that little 5-0 burst really might do it tonight, unfortunately. Every time Southern Hampshire's got a little momentum, Adelphi's had the counter.
Russo lobs. Lacey. See if he can get the follow-up. He'll get the line on a foul by Laffey. 6:57 to go, and we'll take the media timeout and we'll come back. Adelphi with a 12-point lead. Their young guy Ronnie Silva's been money. It's Penmen basketball on Fox College Sports. Help support your Penmen. Make a donation online at alumni.snhu.edu/Penmen. Fans can make a donation to any team specifically or make a general gift to enhance facilities and increase scholarships.
You know, it seemed like Southern Hampshire clawing, they're sort of hanging around, they're getting back in this game, and then again, broken record, the same guy all night long. This is Parker streaking to the basket for an easy two-handed slam, and you know, that was really the answer. And again, the lack of defensive intensity and effort tonight from Southern Hampshire has been glaring. Adelphi's got 79 points with just a tick or two under 7 minutes left in this game. They could score 90, even 100 tonight, depending on how this thing plays out. Southern Hampshire has got to be better on the defensive side if they're to make a run in the second half of the season, and not only that, but in the postseason as well.
Justin Lacey going to the line. Penmen ice hockey team started the day in first place in the NA10. They tied Assumption over in Hooksett tonight, 4-4.
Speaking of ice hockey, did we turn the heat down in here? It's gotten markedly cooler over the last 10 minutes or so.
Somebody must have opened the door, right?
Let's get it together.
1 out of 2. And the lead is 11, 79-68, 6:50 to go in the game.
And again, they had it to 8, it had a lot of momentum, and then Silva the 3, and then Parker the dunk.
Silva.
This is a really, really impressive performance by a freshman. And those folks have been loving it since the opening tip, because he's been on fire since the jump here tonight.
It's 10 out of 13, Jacob.
He's been awesome.
26 points to Ronnie Silva. Busetto comes back to Russo. Comes to Adelphi. Panthers up 13 with the ball. Montague up top. Penman sitting on 4 fouls. They're not in foul trouble at all. Russo is the most with 3. And get Busetto there for a second foul and a hand check. Zaman Joyce and Rio Semino come in for Justin Lacey and Charlie Russo.
We've talked about it throughout. I mean, Silva's been the story here tonight. He really has been outstanding. And again, he was hot in the first half, but in the second half, Bob, every basket he's had has just seemed to come at the most opportune time for that Adelphi group.
10 out of 13, 26 points, 4 assists, 6 of 8 from 3-point range. This is Laffey off the mark. 5 in double figures for Adelphi, only 5 points for the other two guys.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, Joyce carries it in, it'll count, and he'll get to the line.
I wish I had some sort of statistical breakdown. The win percentage when you have 4 guys double figures has got to be like 80+%. When you get 5, I mean, it's got to be 95+. A good little action by Joyce, who's the second half just said, I'm going to get to the rim at will, and it's on you to stop me. And Adelphi has done a good job of it. And Joyce had a big game, as a result leading the way with 19 points for the Penmen.
4 fouls on Jack Laffey of Adelphi.
Second missed free throw in the last couple minutes, and you know, those are amplified. Instead of it being a 9-point game, it's still 11.
81-70, Penmen down 11, 5:23 to go. Laffey back for Silva. Adelphi trying to make it 8 wins in their last 9.
Yeah, they're really clicking right now. They've been really good in January.
Silva taken away by Bucetto. Joyce, they need the hoop.
Big shot.
22 for Joyce.
Big shot. Now they need stops. Again, they've made these runs before. The question is, can they sustain them? Because Adelphi, they've got it down to 8. They made a little 5-0 spurt of their own right.
Out for 3. Good. Every time they have the answer.
And again, that's all set up by Silva's dribble drive and the penetration.
Oswald Parker with 22. Laffey's 5th.
That's it. Yeah. I thought that was the right call.
So Laffey will go to the bench for the remainder of the contest. 84-73 is the score. 4:28 left.
I will say, you say when your leading scorer in the year fouls out, it's a huge deal. Well, tonight, he hasn't had to score a great deal. He's only got 10 points. I say only. It's below his season's average by a pretty sizable amount. And Silva and Parker have been the guys that have really provided the offensive punch, combining for 46 of Adelphi's 84 tonight.
Him and Joyce averaged 2.3 a game as a freshman, 5.6 as a sophomore, 15.4 now as a senior. His first free throw. It's good. 6'8", junior, Medfield, Massachusetts.
He's really turned himself into a really good college basketball player.
Second free throw on the way. And that's good, and that's a career high for Aben Joyce. 24 points. It's 84-75. McGinnis the other way. In the corner. Does not go this time. Dwayne Williams with a miss.
Boy, oh boy. Adelphi is really fortunate there because he got a pushing foul underneath on Joyce. Williams literally just came into the game after Laffey fouled out. He was the guy that replaced him. He tees up a 3 early in the possession. It's exactly what you wanted for Southern New Hampshire. You get a miss, and you can't grab the defensive rebound.
4:17 left. Adelphi 84-75. And the ball went off of Joyce's shoulder, and they'll re-enter again. Penmen have never led.
Adelphi 10-1 when they score 80 or more. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Here the bench yelling, "E, get a tip here so you can get a steal."
All right. Silva will bring it across with the Penmen logo.
You know, Adelphi, you want long possessions here. If a good opportunity presents itself, you take it, but otherwise use some shot clock.
And that they've done. They've used up more than half the clock. 4 minutes to go in the game. Silva, McGinnis, nothing but net. And now they have 6 or 5 in double figures. They have McGinnis now with 12. With 14.
Yeah. Again, another
Semino.
big answer.
Still hope. Down 10, 3:34 left.
A lot of time left, but again, you got to string together some defensive stops, which they've been unable to do throughout.
Timeout Adelphi, so we'll take the break. Did they call it?
It was a foul on Joyce.
It was a foul.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're at the timeout anyway, under 4 to go. 3:25 left, 87-77 Adelphi. NE10 basketball continues after this on Fox College Sports. Welcome you back to the Stan Spirou Field House. Coach Stan still hanging around. So are a lot of fans, too.
Good crowd. Really good crowd here in the field house tonight. And they've been treated to an entertaining game. Unfortunately, for those that came hoping to see a Penmen win, they've been on the wrong side of this one from basically the opening tip. But good environment, good atmosphere in the gym. We expect to see more going forward.
For the game, look at the shooting. Southern New Hampshire 31 of 59, 52.5%. Adelphi 34 of 58, 58.6%. They shot 62.5% and putting 49 points on the board in the first half. Penmen have been chasing all night long. Number 10, Connor McGinnis, a senior, one of 3 on the roster. Seen both Laffey and Cambia. They all play a significant role. 15 for McGinnis. Silva has 26. Parker has 22. McGinnis has 15. Laffey and Cambio 10 each. 5 in double figures for Adelphi. Joyce career high 24 for the Penmen. Montague 16. Day 11.
I have no idea what the reason is for the stoppage here at this juncture. There's an animated discussion about something, and I don't know what it was.
Everybody back for Adelphi.
No reason to chase it, get a silly foul on the backcourt.
88-77. The lead will be 11 as the Penmen bring it up. 3:21 left. Joyce. Semino with the right hand into Montague's hands, and it winds up with a finish. Call it a pass, call it a bad shot, but Montague finishes it.
It's an assist.
It's going to be Penmen ball here.
Wow, that is really sloppy. That is really poorly done in terms of who they wanted to inbound the ball. The guy rolled it in play, and that's a violation. That's the reason for the turnover.
3:05 left. Penmen looking for a quick hoop here. They hit a 3. It's a 6-point game. Day looking for that.
Gotta go.
88-82.
Finally, Day gets a triple to go. It's his first of the night, and what a time to do it by the senior.
Pressure put on, stolen away. Bosetto with Silva coming down. Good. Timeout at Adelphi. Wow. Southern New Hampshire with a very quick 7, and it's 88-84. 2:42 to go.
Wow, a remarkable turn of events. Quick 7 is well said by you. The steal by Bosetto, outstanding defensive effort by the freshman off the bench tonight, especially here in the second half. He has been a real spark plug for this group. And then Day, who's taken big shots throughout the course of his career, just took one there and made it. And this place fired up. They're having fun tonight at the field house. And partner, just when you thought Adelphi was ready to salt this one away, it was 88-77 in the span of, what, 30 seconds?
3:39.
Yeah.
57 seconds. They've closed from 87-77 to 88-84.
Yeah, McGinnis makes a free throw. And,
right, for them.
Yeah.
And the Penmen down 11 then with 3:25 to go.
Yeah, so literally in the span of 43 seconds, that's at 7 unanswered by the Penmen, and just like that, that's a new game. And Adelphi now sort of clinging for the finish line.
.242 left.
A lot of time left. I mean, you're nowhere near fouling. You can play straight up here. And, don't gamble. Just play good, solid defense. Now, the pressure defense has turned them over a couple times as of late. And remember, Laffey on the bench having fouled out a few moments ago.
And pressure put on. Penmen have won double overtime games their last 2 home games here, including last week against St. Rose. Zach Perry wanted a travel. Instead, it's going to be a possession arrow to Adelphi. So Penmen will get that in their favor.
That's fine. You have another tie-up going forward. And Adelphi down to just 1 timeout to work with as we play the final 151 seconds.
SNHU Coach Perry has 2. There's not a reset on the clock, of course, so we're down to 10 right now. McGinnis gives it back to Parker. McGinnis inside, catch for Cambio, gives a little elbow to Joyce and knocks it in.
Big bucket by Cambio. Has been really quiet here in the second half.
So we approach 2 minutes to go. It's 90-84.
Don't need threes. Get a good opportunity.
It's a foul on Parker, his 4th. And Day going to the line for 2 shots.
It's bad luck for Parker. He's going for a steal, but we talk about it all the time. Unless you're sure you're going to get a piece of it, you can't run through the player because it's going to be called every single time. Parker, that split second of hesitation, you're going to see just that little split second, he just sort of doesn't get that hand in there. And you want to go real heavy coach speak there. He probably should have his right arm up the line there instead of crossing over with his left hand. Runs into Day and Andrews to the stripe for 2. Oof. Woefully short there.
Charlie Russo checking in number 4 for Rio Semino. Penmen trail by 6, 2:01 to go. Andrews 3 of 5 from the line. 5-point game. Andrews has 15. 90-85. Can they get another stop? Rossetto presses in the backcourt. Lob it ahead. Silva immediately trapped.
Oh, too bad.
Day Andrews with his 3rd foul.
They had a good trap they didn't need, and a little bit overzealous with the hands there, and I thought that was the right call.
Ronnie Silva will go to the line 1-1. So free throw shooter, I think he's good. 38 out of 42, 90.5%.
He's an elite shooter, period. I think with the game he's had, I think if you said David Duke, there's one person that you want at the line, he's choosing number 3 every single time. I think he puts the ball in his hands the rest of the way.
Silva is 28, and it's 92-85 Adelphi. With 152 left. Day will let that ball roll into the front court. Picks it up now. Goes right to the hole, down low for Montague for a bucket.
That's a really high-level play there by Day.
Timeout, Adelphi, and they'll use their final one with Southern New Hampshire within 5 with 1:42 to go. Penmen were down 11 with 3:25 left.
88-77, and 7-0 run by Southern New Hampshire. Now they sort of traded free throws and whatnot. And just watch this. This is, you talked about the pickup and the crossover. He's got Parker on his heels already. Montague, a tough catch. McGinnis slightly late with that defensive rotation. And I mean, you allow about 4 or 5 seconds to roll off the clock there, you get 2 points. It's hard to do it any better.
Penmen have been using plays off of that roll of the ball all year long. Last week we were here on the 23rd, and Southern New Hampshire beat St. Rose 88-85. I think I said double overtime. It was just overtime. And then 88-86 over Southern Connecticut here on the 12th.
It's probably their best win of the year, quite frankly. It's a good Southern Connecticut team.
McGinnis.
You don't need to foul here. I think you played straight up. You got to get a stop, but you don't need to foul. That's unnecessary. I don't know why he's doing that. You're 10 seconds into the possession. It's a 2-score game. I don't think you need to foul, especially a good free throw shooter as McGinnis is.
4 on Day Andrews. McGinnis is an 81% free throw shooter. Adelphi is a pretty good free throw shooting team, aren't they? About mid-pack in the league. As a team, they make 75.5%. It's good for McGinnis. And what you're seeing here is what fans of the Northeast 10 Conference have seen for forever. I mean, every night, it's game after game.
Absolutely.
Terrific basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, these games on a nightly basis, and what separates this conference from a lot of Division II leagues is the fact that top to bottom, if you don't bring your best, you're walking out with a loss.
94-87, Bucetto saves it. Montague short with a hook shot inside and a rebound for Cambio and an empty trip for the Penmen where they couldn't afford that. That'll be a foul on Bucetto, and McGinnis is going right back to the line.
And Montague rushed that a little bit, too bad. It was obviously a disjointed possession with the ball being deflected away, and then Montague caught it about 6 or so feet away from the rim and sort of floated it and aimed it instead of shooting it. He's very good at that, just left that one a little bit short.
2 shots here for Connor McGinnis. Six out of 7 from the line tonight now.
I'll say this. You look at that Southwest Division, New Haven on top currently by 1 game over a trio of teams with 8-4 when play began tonight, but it's hard to imagine a team playing better right now than Adelphi is.
Only gets 1, and that young freshman's getting better and better, isn't he? 95-87. Day. 3 right back. Timeout Southern New Hampshire's 95-90.
Surprised Jack Perry used the timeout there, leaving him with just 1. Big shot by Day. Obviously makes it a 5-point game, but to Jack's credit, he might be thinking and talking with his group about how they want to play here. Do they want to foul this trip, or do they want to try to get a defensive stop? We'll see how they play it out here with just 1:10 remaining.
Adelphi, 14 of 28 from 3-point range, 11 of 13 from the line. Penmen are 10 of 23 from 3-point range. Pretty good night. But just 8 of 15 from the line. They've missed 7 free throws.
And that's, unfortunately, we talked about earlier, 1 of 2 or front end of a 1-on-1 type situation. Those are the things that in these 1 or 2 score games ultimately could prove the difference at times.
1:10 to go.
Day can't foul. Remember, he's got 4, as does Joyce.
McGinnis into the front court.
They're going to elect not to foul here and try to get a stop. So that's the reason for the timeout.
95-90. McGinnis working on the right side now with 10 on the clock. Didn't have a shot there.
Got to get a stop now.
With 5, McGinnis drives in. Good.
That's too easy. Way too easy. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Adelphi. That's a perfect possession for them.
Comes up short for Andrews. 35 seconds left at 97-90. Russo will foul McGinnis.
Well, that is a killer possession laid, and Connor McGinnis, who's undoubtedly the heart and the soul of this team, being a senior, being an upperclassman, being a guy who's basically a 3-year starter for this Adelphi group. He just sealed this one on his own with that dribble drive and reverse layup there with the right hand.
5 in double figures, 3 with 20 tonight for Adelphi, including this guy.
Wild.
McGinnis has 20.
Averaging 11. A senior from New City, New York, is really a steady calming force for this team. He has been for a long time. And you got a floor general like McGinnis, you take your chances a lot of nights.
This team, and we haven't really made reference to it yet, they won 98-89 over St. Anselm.
They're playing as well as anybody, not only in the Southwest, but in the Northeast 10 right now.
99-90, Bucetto doesn't go. Ball stays with Southern New Hampshire, but down 9 with 26.5 to go.
Not sure I see the roadmap at this juncture.
The Panthers just would not allow the Penmen to get back in this game. Time and again, they came up with big shots.
Gotta go quickly here.
It'll be a Adelphi ball, and it's not going to happen tonight for the Penmen.
No, that'll do it. This is a really impressive win by Adelphi. This group is, said earlier, they're going to be really sad to see January go because they're going to finish this month with an 8-1 mark. Just really hard to do.
And Ronnie Silva will dribble it out.
Rightfully so, right, with the night that he had.
28. Career high here in his first year at Adelphi. Final 99-90. I thought we had a good shot to get into the 80s today for both teams.
We got into the 90s, and that was an impressive win by David Duke and his group. They made shots early. That group had a lot of fun. They didn't leave. It's late. It's snowing up here, and they had a blast. And an entertaining game, unfortunately, for the fans here at the field house. The Penmen on the wrong side of a 9-point affair.
I mentioned 5 in double figures for Adelphi. Ronnie Silva 28, Connor McGinnis and Oswald Parker 22, Nick Cambio 12, Jack Laffey 10. Penmen, Eamon Joyce career high 24, Sean Montague 20, Day-Day Andrews 18. Penmen will try to regroup for New Haven on the road on Saturday, and Adelphi will meet Stonehill on the road on Saturday.
Yeah, and a cool moment here. Ronnie Silva going up into that crowd to cap off his night. Good moment, good work by our crew, and great night for him, and he should enjoy this. He will for a long time.
Penmen fall to 10-8 overall, 6-7 in the NE10, and Adelphi continues their run. 8 wins in the last 9, now 14-7, 8-5 as they close in on the top spot in the Southwest Division. It's been a lot of fun, Jacob.
Was fun. Couple of good games.
I do appreciate it. On behalf of all of us here, Jared Fieldson, the crew at PAC Network, I'm Bob Lippman for Jacob Van Ryn. Our coverage tonight on Fox College Sports, copyright 2019, Southern New Hampshire University.